Imagine a world sharply divided. On one side, abundance, prosperity, and technological marvels. On the other, scarcity, struggle, and the echoes of a forgotten future. This is the stark reality envisioned by the theory of the golden billion, a term that describes a future where a privileged few, roughly 1 billion people, enjoy the fruits of a technologically advanced world, while the rest struggle for survival. The origins of this concept are rooted in anxieties about overpopulation and resource scarcity. As the Earth's resources dwindle and climate change threatens our very existence, some believe that a sustainable future requires drastic measures. The golden billion theory posits that only by limiting consumption and concentrating resources in the hands of a select few can we prevent global collapse. This theory, however, is not without its critics. Many see it as a blueprint for global apartheid, a system designed to entrench existing power structures and condemn billions to lives of poverty and despair. The very notion of choosing who deserves to thrive while others are left behind raises troubling ethical questions. The golden billion concept, therefore, is more than just a theory. It is a mirror reflecting our deepest fears and desires, forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths about humanity, inequality, and the future of our planet. Who decides who gets to live in paradise and who is left behind? This question cuts to the heart of the golden billion concept, exposing the raw nerves of power and control. In a world where resources are finite, the power to choose becomes the ultimate power, shaping the very destiny of humanity. Would it be nation-states clinging to their borders and vying for dominance? Or perhaps multinational corporations, driven by profit and wielding unprecedented influence? The selection process itself would be fraught with ethical dilemmas. What criteria would determine worthiness? Wealth, intelligence, genetic purity? The very act of choosing creates a hierarchy, dividing humanity into the worthy and the unworthy. This raises the specter of eugenics and social engineering, with those deemed undesirable facing exclusion or even elimination. The architects of this new world order, whether driven by benevolent intentions or naked self-interest, would wield a terrifying power, their decisions echoing through generations. Implementing the golden billion concept would require more than just political will. It would necessitate a sophisticated technological infrastructure, a network of control and surveillance that could effectively segregate the planet. Advanced surveillance systems, powered by artificial intelligence, could track and monitor populations, identifying those deemed a threat to the established order. Biometric data, genetic screening, and social credit systems could be used to categorize and rank individuals, determining their access to resources and opportunities. Borders would be fortified with cutting-edge security measures, making it nearly impossible for the excluded to breach the walls of paradise. Nanotechnology and biotechnology could be employed to control food and water supplies, ensuring that only the chosen few have access to essential resources. The very fabric of reality could be manipulated, creating virtual worlds and augmented experiences that further isolate the golden billion from the harsh realities beyond. For the golden billion, life would be a tapestry woven from threads of abundance, leisure, and technological marvels. Automated labor would free them from the drudgery of work, allowing them to pursue intellectual pursuits, artistic endeavors, or simply indulge in hedonistic pleasures. Resources would be plentiful, their every need and desire met with effortless ease. Disease and aging would be conquered by advanced medical technology, extending lifespans and enhancing human capabilities. Virtual reality and augmented reality would blur the lines between the physical and digital worlds, offering immersive experiences and limitless entertainment. The pursuit of knowledge would continue unabated, fueled by advanced artificial intelligence and access to vast stores of information. Yet within this gilded cage, a seed of discontent might begin to grow. The absence of struggle, of hardship, could lead to a sense of ennui and stagnation. The price of paradise. Ethical quandaries of the golden billion. The golden billion concept forces us to confront a fundamental ethical dilemma. Can true happiness and fulfillment exist in a world built on exclusion and inequality? Even if the material needs of the golden billion are met, what about their moral compass? Can they truly enjoy their privileged status, knowing that billions suffer beyond their secluded enclaves? The psychological toll of such a reality could be significant, leading to feelings of guilt, anxiety, and a loss of purpose. the act of constantly justifying their existence, of rationalizing the suffering of others, could erode their humanity, turning them into detached observers of a world they no longer feel a part of. Moreover, the absence of diversity, of different perspectives and experiences, could stifle innovation and creativity, leading to cultural stagnation. The golden billion might find themselves living in a gilded cage, surrounded by beauty and abundance, yet haunted by the ghosts of those they left behind. Beyond the gates, poverty, strife, and the fight for survival. Outside the shimmering bubble of the golden billion, a very different reality would unfold. Here, the majority of humanity would grapple with the harsh realities of a world ravaged by climate change and resource scarcity. Poverty, famine, and disease would be constant companions, fueling conflict and instability. Governments and social structures would crumble under the weight of mass displacement and dwindling resources. Competition for scraps would ignite tribalism and violence, turning neighbor against neighbor in a desperate struggle for survival. The natural environment, already stressed by decades of exploitation, would continue to deteriorate, further exacerbating the suffering. Yet, even in this bleak landscape, the human spirit would endure. Communities would band together, sharing dwindling resources and finding innovative ways to adapt to the harsh new reality. A world of shadows, the human cost of exclusion. The true cost of the golden billion concept would be measured not just in economic terms, but in the erosion of our shared humanity. The psychological impact of exclusion, of being deemed unworthy of a future, would be devastating. It would breed resentment, anger, and a deep sense of injustice, fueling cycles of violence and instability. The loss of hope, of the belief in a better future, could lead to despair and apathy, making it even more challenging to address the root causes of inequality. The very act of dividing humanity into us and them would undermine the principles of empathy and compassion, making it easier to ignore the suffering of others. In such a world, the bonds of community, of shared responsibility would fray, leaving behind a fragmented and fractured society. Seeds of hope, resistance, resilience, and the dream of equality. Despite the dystopian possibilities inherent in the golden billion concept, the human capacity for resistance and resilience should not be underestimated. Even in the darkest of times, hope flickers. Communities would find ways to resist oppression, to subvert the systems of control, and to create pockets of resistance. Underground networks would emerge, sharing information, resources, and strategies for survival. The excluded would draw strength from their shared struggle, forging bonds of solidarity and mutual support. They would develop innovative solutions to the challenges they face, harnessing technology for good and finding ways to live sustainably within their means. The dream of a more just and equitable world, where everyone has an equal opportunity to thrive, would continue to inspire and motivate, fueling the fight for a better future. Utopia or dystopia, a future yet unwritten. The golden billion concept presents us with a stark choice, a crossroads where the path we choose will determine the fate of humanity. Will we succumb to fear and division, retreating into enclaves of privilege while the rest of the world burns? Or will we rise to the challenge, embracing our shared humanity, and working together to create a future where everyone has the opportunity to thrive? The future is not predetermined. It is a canvas upon which our choices, our actions, and our beliefs will paint the final picture. The golden billion concept serves as a stark warning, a reminder of what we stand to lose if we fail to address the challenges of inequality, environmental degradation, and the erosion of our shared humanity. The choice is ours. Let us choose wisely.